Welcome to Guzzler.
Oh! I was literally about to say to you, it's not very fizzy. Take your sock off. Now what?
Wow, mate. Wow. Have I got a tissue?
Wet desk.
What on earth? Just take your shorts off and mop up. Just slurp it. Go on.
No!
Yeah, what are you doing?
You slurp it!
Nah, she'll drink. Or do I drink too much? What are we going to do about that? I'm going to have to give you my socks.
Guzzler Podcast.
Welcome to Guzzler. Boys, what are you drinking?
Alf?
What am I drinking? Goldfinch.
By Black Owl Brewing Company.
Organic and gluten-free.
We drank one of these last week in the recap video.
We did, we had Spider Monkey, didn't we? Oh, that was good.
But also,
Suitable for vegans.
because Alf doesn't think it's enough this episode, we've got... This is heavy.
Do you think
What's
it's
this?
enough this
Tar?
episode?
It's heavy, isn't
It
it?
is. For like, I don't mean it's like, I mean I'm struggling to lift it. I mean like for a beer. Yeah.
We're drinking this one later, so it's called...
Do you think this is enough?
We'll find out later.
It's called Kirkstall Brewery, and it's
Dex can be
virtuous.
knocking them back this episode.
I'm going to try and finish this whole bottle this episode. I am drinking
Aromatic session.
30 degree Pinot Noir. It's from Chile.
Try the beer. That's all.
Beer's not great. Yeah, go on.
It's Valle de Casablanca.
No.
What?
We've all heard from Casablanca.
Yeah, but
Man, what was you going to say? Which have all heard from what?
All heard of Casablanca?
Yeah, but I thought you say we've all heard from
No.
Casablanca.
Heard of
Casablanca.
Casablanca.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's vegan vegetarian. I got it from Co-op. It's Co-op own brand.
Show us the... Alright.
I think it looks quite nice.
Yeah, it looks quite nice. It looks quite neat.
I don't mean it tastes nice,
It
but
smells horrible, but I'm going to try and sink it. So,
What are we talking about today then, Declan?
it smells very
conspiracy theories.
pungent.
Make
You
start
bo-
this one.
You boys got a favourite conspiracy theory?
Oh, I don't know you're going to start with this.
I do actually have a favourite.
What is it?
I picked... Right, can I just say, we were supposed to do this about 6 weeks ago, this episode.
Yeah.
So I wrote these notes 6 weeks ago, so I completely forgot what
Right.
I wrote. And I've put some, what I would call, Louisisms on this card.
Oh, good.
So you don't know what you're on about.
They're just...
No, he
they're
knows what he's on
funny.
about.
We don't know what he's on about.
Yeah, that's about right. I do have a favourite one, actually, and it's to do with Denver Airport.
It's still what?
Denver Airport.
I've heard of it. Is this
Explain.
Gateway to Hell?
Yes, the Gateway to Hell.
I've heard of this.
Huh.
Did you know this one?
No.
So, let me recap first.
This is riveting.
So in Denver Airport, there's this bit. Well, there's a lot of things, but there's this. They thought it was built by the Nazis,
Right.
and they thought it was
Was
also
it?
built by and then they thought it was built by the Freemasons as well. There's a lot of like symbols all inside.
Was
a
it?
lot of, like, I'm not sure about that one. A lot of murals on the wall to do with like Freemasons and
Is
stuff
there?
like that. There is. But also there's a horse statue out the front,
Right.
big horse statue, and its eyes glow red at night time.
Right.
And everyone who made it died soon after. Like the horse actually fell on a couple of the people when they were put up and it killed them.
Oh.
There's a lot of underground tunnels and stuff like that. The runways are shaped with a swastika as well.
Are they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. So it's shaped in swastikas because some of them, unlike most runways which are just on the ground, these are above,
Right.
so they like run over top of
They're
each other.
floating.
So
No,
it's like a
it's like a freeway.
It's like a
Right.
3D swastika.
Yeah. So it's not.
Cool.
So like one will
That's
go that
nice.
way.
Nazism in modern
Yeah,
legends.
everyone will go that way, so they're on top of each other, just
Yeah,
to save space, basically. So there's that.
Big
There's,
multi-dimensional fascism.
Yeah.
there's
You're a fascist. We hate you.
a bunker for bombs as well. And they were used to.
But in a
put, like,
swastika,
it goes. Up
nothing
like
goes
that.
over each other. Or is it
Like
just the
it
middle
crosses
bit
at the-
that's like
yeah.
level?
It crosses.
Just in the middle though. That's the only bit that crosses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like as a runway,
Yeah.
you got this bit over this bit.
Yeah.
What about all the little arm bits?
I can't remember.
There are other runways?
I think maybe they come off like that. Maybe like no because you'd need.
I can't imagine the plane like goes long and it does like a and then it like
Because you need a slope, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You need a slope to get onto the thing, wouldn't you? Because most runways would be like a circle. So you'd travel on that bit, and then this is the bit where the runway is.
right.
So this bit is obviously like you got to slope up onto the runway, and then you go around the corner.
It's quite a
That's
sharp
where,
turn,
like,
though.
It might not be. It might not actually be like
90
square.
degrees.
Like
I'm saying it's probably not that swastika shaped, is it?
probably not. I'll be honest with you. I've read this. There's a bunker for bombs, and they used to think like presidents and stuff would go down into this bunker when something bad happened. And it's sometimes named
Like Trump.
yes, and it's sometimes named the gateway to hell. Denver Airport is. I quite like that one. I was quite like. And I always read different things about it. I think it's just quite an interesting one. It's not a usual one. You got it?
Yeah, great, mate.
No, that's
Can
Nazism I've
you
never seen
put
before.
a photo up
You
for
are?
the folks
That's
on
Nazism I've
YouTube?
never seen it before.
Yeah, probably should.
It's not swastika shaped, so
Someone's drawn on it a swastika. What's it called?
yeah. But
It's
what
not-
about all the other runways on
all,
the thing?
all the other bits you chose to ignore.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't great. Look at
Well-
this one. How's that a swastika?
Oh.
You're reaching.
Nonetheless, it's my favourite conspiracy theory. There's another conspiracy theory, but I know we'll get onto it, so I'm not going to say it
Okay.
yet.
What about you?
I'm partial to a bit of moon landing.
Right.
Conspiracy.
I'll
Being
be
a
fine.
physicist. It's pretty dumb.
Okay.
Can you tell us why it's done though? Because can you like de-conspiracy for it?
So I mean, like, I get the argument. So obviously, in the Cold War, there was a big space race.
Yeah.
Russia beat us for most of the stuff, like sending people, sending objects. They did all of that first. Whereas, like, moon was like the last big thing
Frontier,
we could do.
Yeah.
But what would be the point of faking it?
Sure, the point is to beat Russia.
But like, I'd argue faking it would be just as much effort as doing it. It's very, very hard to fake something like that. Very, very hard.
But I think that's why
there's-
they would have
and
faked it. Then.
there's no inconsistencies.
What do you mean?
Like, people always point out inconsistencies.
This is what we.
But there
this is
isn't
what we-
any.
This is what we'd say. People always say about like,
The flag,
yeah,
because the flag like flaps.
Yeah. It's got metal rods in it or something, isn't it?
But the idea is just in space, nothing stops.
Hmm.
You put a flag down,
And you wave it.
it just keep waving. It won't stop waving. People are like, "There's no wind." There doesn't need to be wind. It will just keep waving.
Also, my argument for that one is that like probably when like Stanley Kubrick, who was meant to do it, filmed it, probably didn't do it outside in a gale, did they? If they did plan it.
Exactly.
There's another one like a rock's got a letter on it or something.
Right.
I thought it was like a prop.
People love
It
to
was,
just like.
it was like a bit of a shadow or something that I read
People
about.
always see things in things anyway.
Mm.
I think we spoke about
It's
that in
like
another
ghosts.
episode, didn't we?
If you see a ghost, it's more like you believe it's there, so you're gonna see it.
Yeah, exactly. I think we spoke about that in another episode.
Whatever,
Like faces and stuff as well.
Mm.
Humans are like evolved to see faces.
Yeah.
Because if there's like a cat in a bush or something,
Yeah.
you need to be able to see it, like a predator,
Mm.
not just like a pussy cat. You need to be able to see it.
I'll see pussy.
I was about to say, yeah, pussy in the bush, yeah. Right, whatever. Is there any other things in the moon landing that you can like debunk from that?
I can't remember. What else do people say?
What?
No.
A lot of people haven't been on the moon since. I think that's why a lot of people get. We've spoken about this, I don't know why, but
Yeah, but like,
a lot of people.
once you've done it, you've sort of done it. Yeah. Do you know why we haven't been back to me? I told you about this, didn't I?
That's ridiculous.
What?
Once you've done it, was no point.
No point going back, is it? So when the American administration changes,
Right.
they keep changing NASA's budget and like NASA's goal.
Right.
So they'll be like, we're going to fund you to go into the moon, but then the next president will come in and be like, we don't care about the moon. Let's talk about Mars. So they have to scrap all their plans for the moon and start planning to go to Mars. And it keeps happening. That's why we
Right.
aren't really getting anywhere with anything. So I think Obama was very interested in Mars because there was a lot of Mars talk. And I think Trump's like quite moon-based again. He's like, let's focus on the moon.
Huh.
So it just means that NASA are constantly...
It's
and
like
it's not
just
up to
stop.
them. Yeah.
Right.
It's like that, but I think maybe the reason Trump's more interested in me is because he obviously remembers the moon landing very well. Like he was in through that.
Mm.
That's like he's like, let's go to the moon. When Obama's like, he's like
It's quite a
younger, so
big,
he's
like,
thinking like, nah,
Something
Mars,
different.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, maybe that's why SpaceX is quite exciting because they're not state-owned.
They don't have to keep changing
They're
their
private,
anything.
they're
They've
just
got their
saying,
goals
"Let's
and
go."
they stick to their goals. Yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Do you have a favourite conspiracy theory?
No, but conspiracy theories annoy me a little bit. Not conspiracy theories, conspiracy theorists.
Yeah. To idiots.
They're
To idiots.
It's not that they're idiots because
They are.
they're just a bit gullible.
They are very gullible.
What gets me is that they're adamant that they're right.
Yeah.
Flat earthers.
So there is no convincing them, even
Mm.
if you show them evidence, that they are wrong.
They did one with the laser, didn't they, on the flat Earth?
Mm.
Not on the flat Earth. Sorry.
The flat, they did. Oh, it's so good.
It's from that documentary, right?
Yeah, because they did like a gyroscope thing.
That's
didn't
it, laser gyroscope.
they? And they were like, oh, it should show this angle.
15 degrees.
And it did.
And it did.
And they were like, nah, conspiracy, mate. And then they did. It was near here. There's like a really flat stretch near here.
Oh, really?
I can't remember what it's called, but there's a really, really flat. I mean, obviously we live in a very flat area. There's a really flat stretch near here, and they did like the laser thing.
Alright.
And they were like, we're going to do it over a long, long distance. It should be a bit lower because the Earth's curved, or like the laser should be a bit higher. Sorry, because the Earth could have curved or whatever. Show exactly that the Earth's round.
Yeah.
And they're just like, nah, we'll try again.
Yeah.
But with flat Earth, like you've seen that documentary.
I haven't seen. I've seen like that bit.
So I think a massive, massive thing with the flat Earthers is like they're all outcasts. None of them really had any friends. None of them were very good socially. So they've sort of become adults and they're quite sheltered. But as soon as you're a flat Earther, you're part of a massive, massive community.
Yeah.
A lot of the people who have like YouTube videos and they do all these things and they talk about the thing, they're quite famous. They're not just part of a community, they're big.
Yeah, it's like being wanted, being liked.
So in this documentary, this guy, who never really had any friends or something like that, started a YouTube channel, started talking about flat Earth. Now when he goes to conventions, people want his autographs, people want pictures with him. He does speeches on stage.
Which is why
he's like a massive, massive celebrity.
Which is why next week we're becoming flat earthers, so we get big.
So we can become huge. This podcast's been massive.
Yeah.
So like, no matter what you present that guy with, he's never going to change his opinion because his opinion, it's not even about flat Earth anymore. It doesn't matter anymore what flat Earth is. He didn't care. He's a celebrity within this thing. Nothing's ever going to change that.
We're not doing that.
Flat Earth, no, we're not. Just to clarify. But we could become if I turned to flat earthing, I probably could become, because I have a master's degree in physics. They probably would put me towards to add credibility. Do you know what I mean? They can be like, one of our higher ups has a degree. So I probably could become a bit of a celebrity in Flat Earth Boys. We make some cash.
Nelly, the rapper from He Done Nights, what was it called? That song with Kelly Rowland years ago called.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So when his career sort of just disappeared, wasn't very famous anymore, he became a flat earther. He was like, if you want to prove to me that the Earth's round, send me to space. I was like, you just want to go to space.
Yeah.
That's all you want.
So I forgot, I do have a favourite conspiracy theory.
Go on.
It's like alternative histories. So because we've only recorded so far, but there's way more history of humans that we don't know.
Right.
That is something different to what we theorise.
Right.
Like the ancient Egyptians were way further ahead than we currently are. That's how they were able to build the pyramids with such accuracy and stuff like that. I find all that shit really interesting.
Yeah.
Because you can't prove it any different, because there is no proof physically there to say that they did it otherwise. Yeah, archaeologists say they just use copper tools and that sort of thing.
Yeah, but pyramids aren't ahead of us. Like, we could build pyramids now.
To the exactuality that they did.
Yeah.
But how did they do it when they only had copper tools?
What do you mean?
Archaeologists.
It just took a while, didn't it? But like they did
20 years.
It's pretty quick.
20 years. There's that.
20 years.
Yeah, there's like a thing in Barcelona that's took 120 and ain't done yet.
They had to lay a block. If it was done in 20 years, they had to lay a block every 5 minutes, 24 hours a day, for 20 years straight.
Yeah, but they had a lot of slaves and stuff, didn't they?
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't think it's that mental.
No, to be fair though, it wasn't actually slaves, was it, that built the pyramids? It wasn't slaves.
I don't think it was that mental.
It was like, it was workers.
They think
skilled
that
workers.
There weren't slaves.
No, they were skilled workers.
Yeah.
But like, how because the blocks were transported over miles and miles and miles, how they got them that far,
Well, you know what?
quarried them, got them that far and put them in the space of time that they had to build them.
They got people like you, and they pushed them.
But like, if you look at all the measurements of the pyramids, like how they line up to go around the world and stuff like that, it's just a bit mad, isn't it?
A lot of people think it's aliens, don't they?
Yeah,
It's a big one.
That's another one I was going to talk about later.
Aliens and pyramids.
What's your opinion on... I've already messed that sentence up already. I was going to say, what's your opinion on 9/11? I didn't mean what's your opinion on 9/11. I mean, what's your opinion on like the idea of being conspiracy? I wasn't just like, what do you think to 9/11 then? Good, bad? No, the idea of it being conspiracy.
I've got two.
So I think that's probably the biggest, or one of the biggest.
I think there's a lot of coincidences that's happened with 9/11. Like a lot unexplainable in terms of officially unexplainable, but conspiracy theories could explain them. Like the man who bought the towers and took out insurance like 6 weeks before.
Loads of really famous people, they cancelled all their meetings in those towers that morning and stuff like that.
The plane that hit the desert and was never found, there was just a little crater that a digger dug and no parts were found and things like that. That's quite interesting. Where it gets me is the fact that no one will ever be able to prove it because there's just too much money into covering it up. And if they could, there's still too much money into prosecution. So you can't do anything about it, even if you could prove it, because they own 99% of all the world's wealth.
I just don't know if they could have got Bin Laden to make a video 24 hours later and been like, it was me who done it. I don't know. I don't think they could.
Well, you think he was CIA?
Was he CIA?
Yes, I
know his family were wealthy, and his family had lots of American.
He went to Oxford, and then they sent the Al Qaeda in to fight the communist government in Afghanistan and Iraq, and then when the communist government were overthrown, the US kind of went, "Good luck, we're out," and left him at it, and then he became this radical because he'd been thrown into this country. And now he's having to run a terrorist organisation, and all of the funding and weapons that were being passed to them from the Americans and the British had been taken away.
Like, for him to admit to dying 9/11 and then 10 years later get killed, I don't know. It's weird. But there's a lot on 9/11 and there's an awful lot on 9/11.
Yeah.
But then, like, engine fuel.
From the political standpoint, we talked about this before, it's like Bush wanted to fight a war on terror.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He needed to get the support of...
Unification makes sense. And then you said it's weird he died like 10 years later or whatever. Yeah. But if you were, like, say you're Obama, I don't actually believe this conspiracy, but say you are Obama, like, killing Bin Laden's a massive... That's one of the things he's most remembered for.
And the thing is, for 10 years, they told us that he was in caves and we couldn't find him.
And then he was
in his own house.
Yeah.
They literally killed him in his own bed. So... How could we not find him?
But they did it. That's the point. They had him on track for like 3 years or something, or longer than that, because they knew who he was. But imagine if like Obama came out and told him, there was like, "Oh, Bin Laden's in a cave." He's like, "Nah, he's in his house. Postcode is and then it said that like
they literally found him in his own bed.
Yeah.
Porn under the bed.
Yeah.
Like, how have you not been able to find
him? It's another one that'd be very easy for them to lie and cover up.
Yeah, you seen those photos when they were all in the, I don't know where they are, in one of the offices, and they're all watching, like Hillary Clinton's, they're all watching, Obama's watching the GoPro footage of them.
Oh, really?
I think it's just a photo, because you can't see them do it. They're all just there, like, just on the edge of their seats, just like, on tenterhooks, just like looking at it, going, oh my god, just quiet, and I'm stuck. Is it in Michelle Obama's book? I think it's in that. She says that, like, there's always stuff going on. And I'm sure that her and Barack were supposed to be doing something this night or something, and these men came in and was like, right, we need to go somewhere, and he's like, right, and they went. And she was like, what's wrong? He was like, nothing. Don't worry about it. You'll find out soon enough. And she was like, go on, why? She was like, you need to stay here with the girls. I'm going somewhere, and she had no idea what was going on. She didn't stay in the room, and Barack was away all night, and she was like, what on earth's going on? And he came in the morning and was like, this is going to come out very soon, but we've just got Osama bin Laden. And she was like just chills went down her spine. She was like, there's no way that that's happened. And she had no idea what was happening because it was all so secret and all that stuff.
I just think it was all a bit too coincidental.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying I believe it or
so
I
you're
don't.
A conspiracy theorist?
No, I've just said I'm not saying I believe it or I don't. I just think
Dick hates himself.
What's the wildest theory you know?
Flat Earth.
Not that Finland's fake.
What?
So they think
He just made that up.
But they think that Japan has come up with the concept of Finland.
Japan?
Yeah.
Why do we believe in Finland?
No, that's what I'm saying. They came up with the idea of Finland,
Yeah.
right? Because they wanted to claim fishing in their water, and where the idea of Finland is. But they said they came up with the idea that Finland is a place, then you can't go fishing there because there's a country, there's a landmass there, and so then all the Japanese will just fish there.
I've met people from Finland.
You haven't?
So have I.
They're lies.
Where are they
They're
from?
lies.
They're from Denmark.
Yeah.
They're
They're from Japan.
They're from Japan,
They're
yeah.
from Japan, yeah.
To be fair, she did speak Japanese. That's a coincidence, isn't it?
There we go.
See, they're always coincidences.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney's dead.
Oh, that's a very famous one, isn't it? We spoke
Very
about it in the
famous
news
one.
one. It's a very famous one.
Paul McCartney died
In 68 or something.
1966,
What, and there's been a
66.
body double?
and they just replaced him. They just found some guy and replaced him. Yeah. And apparently, in some of their songs, there's clues.
Clues.
I didn't write the clues down, but like
One of them is Paul's dead, and then we just brush
Paul's
past it.
dead. He died in a car crash.
Yeah. We always brush past it.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
It's a bit like Tupac and that being live, isn't it? Michael Jackson and...
Yeah, this
there's-
one's crazy, isn't it? He died and they just replaced him.
With
There's
a man
another
who
s-
looks exactly the
There's
same.
another celeb that apparently died and got replaced. I can't remember who it was.
The Elvis one's quite weird. He had an open coffin. He was very waxy and stuff like that. And they think
He's
like, it was
dead.
Like, yeah.
Bless him. You can't. That's a bit harsh.
They
isn't
thought
it?
it was just like he's working a
He's
chippy
been
down the road,
drinking too
doesn't
much milk. He's
he?
treating like
Exactly,
he.
Yeah. He works in chippy down the road, doesn't he, Elvis does?
Elvis.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, you're not meant to say that.
It is,
No,
yeah.
no.
I think it's always coincidences.
What?
Oh.
What do you mean? What's the coincidence? Paul McCartney dead?
About like the things in songs, they're all just...
Yeah.
The Biggie and Tupac thing, I think, is I think
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing about the Biggie and Tupac thing is the idea that like that was an inside job. I think that's the thing. I think it was. Do you know a lot about?
Members of their own gang.
Yeah, I believe so because Biggie and Tupac were like best friends, and Biggie done a song. And
They were from two different gangs.
But they're really good friends.
Opposite ends of the country.
They're really good friends. But then Biggie done a song, and Tupac thought it was about him. So then he applied for another song, and Biggie was like, "That song's definitely about me." And then they just went at each other. But then when Tupac died, when he left the Las Vegas hotel, and someone pulled up next to him and shot him, everyone was like, "That was Biggie." And
I thought Biggie died first.
and P Diddy was with.
They weren't far apart.
No, they weren't at all. Yeah, Tupac died first.
It's
and
like
then,
2 weeks or so.
Yeah, and then Diddy was with him or something, and everyone thought it was Diddy for a start. And even in one of Eminem's songs recently, he said that like, "Oh, you was there when he died, you done it," and then Diddy was like annoyed with him. But then Biggie went out on some program, like the Tonight Show or whatever back then, and said about he was just talking. They went, "Oh, what do you think Tupac died?" And he was almost crying. He said, "We had always beef and stuff. It was like he was like close to me. Like I still loved him." And then obviously like Biggie was killed.
Alright, here's a question. Tupac or Biggie? Which one do you like more?
Biggie.
I don't really know anything about either of them, to be honest with you, mate.
See, I prefer Biggie as well.
He said from Notorious. Have you seen it? Notorious.
Oh, is that the one with...
Yeah.
Notorious is one of my favourite films. I love it. It's just a story about how he rose up and then died.
Oh, then that's not...
But at the end, when he dies, basically they took his coffin, all the hearses through the street, and saw real life footage at the end of everyone on the street like playing his music. And his mum did not like the fact that Biggie was a rapper at all. She was so against it, and she was like crying on her. And she was like, "All these people just need to like leave."
COVID.
What? Oh. See, all these people need to leave. Like, sorry, I thought you said "was she again?"
Oh.
All these people need to leave. I can't do this. And then she opened the window, and everyone was like playing his music. And she said that like the most amazing thing was after her son died that she could still hear him all the time, all his songs and all his stuff, and all these people like. And she said that without even realising it until he died, he changed thousands of people's lives, and she never even realised it when he was alive.
I think you mentioned Eminem. I think it's incredible that he was like the first properly big white hip hop artist. And if you hear people in the industry talk about Eminem, they just think he's absolutely invincible.
Have you
They
seen
just
8 Mile?
think he is, They think that he has changed everything that they first believed.
A lot of people forget about the fact that Future helped Eminem get where he is today.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you watched Straight Outta Compton?
Yeah.
It's a very good film.
Very good film.
Very good film. I think watching that, Ice Cube is like the hero of that film.
Why?
He was the one that was done over.
He was
when
like,
Eazy-E come in and
Yeah,
kind of shoved him
I
out.
suppose so, but Easy was like, what was he? He was injected with like AIDS or something, and then like died incredibly soon
No,
after.
shagging, weren't he? And he got
Yeah,
it.
but people think that he was injected with
Really?
Yeah, people, that's a conspiracy
Conspiracy
theory.
theory.
People think he was
Full
injected with
circle.
something, and
Nice.
that he got AIDS and died. Like,
Oh.
Yeah.
There's another conspiracy theory.
Yeah, mate.
AIDS. The Americans created it.
Well, that's the COVID as
Because
well.
of gays.
'Cause it-
Gays the thing, isn't
well,
it?
gays are things, yeah.
No, to try and get
But-
To try and get rid of the gays.
get rid of gays.
Really?
Yeah,
That's part of the conspiracy theory, yeah.
Oh, I thought
Because
it was
it was
just
known as the gay virus,
they
wasn't it?
just chucked it into Africa, but blamed it on the gays.
Maybe.
But all the 18 to 30s gay holidays to Africa.
Because, hey, I don't know.
That's where Thingy's gone, Sega, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
But, Nathan. What was I going to say?
18 to 30's AIDS trip.
Going
Going to an African country near you.
AIDS has
You
been,
ring up like Tui, you're like, I'll have the AIDS package, please. Yeah.
homosexuals are now not part of the AIDS watch list, are they?
No,
They
I
took
did
off
see
it
that.
last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
What's the AIDS watch list?
You know what I mean.
Check out it.
It's like they've been taken off like the course.
The AIDS watch list.
The call.
I didn't know what else to come
Bit
with.
harsh,
I
isn't it?
like that.
I'm genuinely
You know what I
asking
mean?
though. No, genuine question. What do you mean?
Genuine question.
Yeah,
Well,
what
they
do
said
you mean?
that gays were the ones spreading AIDS for
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
They're
And
not-
now they've said that they're no longer
Like
right,
I don't, threats not the word, but yeah.
You know
so
what I mean.
threats like causing AIDS.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
so
spreading
that they
AIDS,
took them off it and they've said, well, actually, it's just an STI and anyone of any sexuality can get it equally as opportune as the rest.
Yeah, when you said about
That's
it being
right.
made, that's also COVID as well. The idea
Yes.
that COVID was made in Japan,
It's
and
good,
everyone,
good move on.
everyone who outed that has died.
I think that was
Coincidence.
Doctors
Yeah,
in
coincidence.
Wuhan, yeah.
And then one of the doctors was in a hospital in Russia, and he was thrown out of a window, like 3 stories, and he survived. And the doctors took him back in, and he outed this, and he was killed.
I think it makes sense for COVID to be made, but not in like a malicious way.
Right, what do you mean?
I think it was.
Because
made
there's a like biohazard place near Wuhan, isn't there?
Yeah,
But like, and they always are making these sort of things just to experiment and test on it
they're,
and stuff.
they're, they're
And it
there
makes
for the
more
sake-
sense for it to just get out by accident.
They're there for the sake that if something like that naturally occurs, that we can have an antidote for it.
That's what I mean, yeah, exactly.
Well, they didn't do very well there, did they?
No.
Well, obviously they've messed up,
Yeah.
but I don't know why they'd make it maliciously.
I genuinely think because to overpopulation, I believe.
But overpopulation isn't that big a problem, really.
No, it's not. You read
No,
facts.
it
It's
has
very
to-
factual,
yeah,
it's
I-
like-
I
I
it's
think
not like an
it
issue.
has
I
the
don't think they're that
potential
worried
to be
about
right
that.
now.
But in factfulness, he talks
I
about
would
how,
like to say
like-
that.
So overpopulation, he says that they think, the UN think that it's going to level off.
Right.
Because people are having less babies and stuff like that. As,
We are on about the same thing.
What?
We are on about the same thing.
are we? Yeah, well, I'm talking about a different part to you.
Okay, right.
Because like third world countries and stuff are slowly getting contraception, and it's
Right.
slowly becoming a bit more of like a thing there.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
an acceptable thing. And also the reason that we have a problem at the moment, or it started so drastically, is because everyone used to have a lot of kids
We are on about the
because
same thing.
Kids didn't last.
boomers.
kids didn't last for very long,
Yeah.
or like a lot of them would die and stuff like that. But then healthcare got better, but people continued to have a lot of children.
Right.
But now it's leveling out. People aren't having
Yeah.
that many children
And in the
anymore.
60s, like I say, boomers, there'd be a lot of them. Where now, people used to tend to have 1 or 2. So that older population, there's a lot of them. When our lower population is not so many. So when they die out and we get up to there, we will have...
Because
The curve, when it's gone out, it will do that. Yeah,
like
yeah.
my granddad has 7 brothers and 2 sisters.
yeah, my granddad
Like,
does, yeah.
that's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
Both mine
Yeah.
and granddad both had that. Yeah,
That I
so-
think that's insane.
Yeah, it is.
And like everyone says that China's quite inhumane for having their 1-child laws. I think it's 2 now.
It's,
Well,
I know it's definitely not 1.
But that was a great idea at the time, because whether you say about human rights or anything like that, human rights are made up. No, there's no natural law of human rights. We
spoke
made
about this
them
before,
up.
didn't we? Yeah.
If it benefits the greater good, that is the path of human rights you take. And if China doesn't have the resources to look after the population that was growing at the exponential rate that they were, the 1-child laws are better for everyone than letting them keep having children so that more starve. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there'd be less food, less natural resources for families to take in and consume. Whereas having 1 child, it's a bit of an inconvenience and you've got to use contraception some more. But in the long run, you're still having a family to extend on a line with. You're still having kids. But as well, you're saving the resources that China has and can import legally.
The thing with one child rule as well was that there was no rule against adopting. You can adopt a child if they so if you desperately want one child, just adopt another child.
Personally, I only want one child and adopt. I really like the idea of that. So I don't see any harm in saying we'll have one child, but adopt if you want any more. That's not going to hurt anyone.
No.
If anything, that's going to benefit society more
I agree.
than anything else.
But like, in terms of COVID again, I don't get any of the arguments for COVID being done by a government or made. It hasn't helped anyone. I don't know who it's benefited.
The only one that
5G?
makes sense was that it was economic warfare from China, right? So they got it early, got rid of it, basically by the time that it hit the rest of the world.
Okay.
And then all of like the PPE, all the information was all outsourced from China to the rest of the world. So we brought PPE from China. We
brought PPE. We had PPE. No way.
None of it worked. The government spent £50,000 on ventilators that didn't work. But
start talking about government again in a minute.
they so China then exported products, PPE, things like that, services, as in information, how they could help the rest of the world and everything like that. China's GDP grew by 1%, or something like ridiculous. A 1% GDP is astonishingly high for a country to make. Because I'm studying economics at the minute, so I know this. So it's really difficult for a GDP of a whole country to go up really quick. Like in South America, I think the fastest growing country is Peru. In Asia, you've got India and China. They're nearly level. But apart from that, not many countries are growing that fast. Africa's growing quite quick because they've got a lot of natural resources. It's called land. Really, so it's the land. They've got a lot of land, and what's in it that's valuable. So it's very difficult for a country's GDP to grow really quick. And the scary thing is that China is still growing at an astonishing rate. It's over 5%. Ours is 1%.
See, I can deal with that argument. So at least that makes sense. Yeah. But a lot of people on Facebook and stuff are like, COVID was, and the lockdown and stuff was put in by the British government and that to control the population. In what way? I don't even understand what that argument's trying
the
to
track
say.
And trace, they're trying to see where we are.
They know where we are. Yeah. They know where we are.
Yeah.
The government always know where you are. You've got a phone.
You've got when you've gone on Tinder and you're swiping left and right, you've already clicked to know your location.
Allow location.
Yeah.
I don't know why people think this is a necessary thing for the government to do when they're trashing their own economy.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that.
I'm just shagging some bird in her house. Like, what do they care about that?
Back. Yeah. Chemtrails.
Right, we're circling back. Stop talking about fine. Matt Handjob Hancock.
The argument for chemtrails is that it's to like you heard of this? Chemtrails?
What, planes?
Yeah, you know when you see planes and there's like plumage behind them or whatever.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
And the argument is like they're chemicals to brainwash us and make us obedient to the government. Right. We're not obedient in any way. There's massive protests everywhere across the world recently.
All the time.
Everyone's always angry. No one's ever happy. These are the worst chemicals to have ever been spread.
Especially since these new rules have come out. So this is the week where the new rule of 6 has come in.
The 10 p.m. curfew.
Curfews on the pubs. That started last Monday.
Yeah.
Monday.
Thursday was the 10 p.m. thing.
That's it.
The rule of 6 was Monday. Yeah.
What's wrong with this can?
So that's
what's wrong with you?
That's this week in terms of our filming timeline.
Jesus.
If you think, I don't know a single person that has followed them rules, and if you look at how the 10 p.m. curfew has affected London,
the flat next to me had a party the other day. There were like 50 people over.
So last night, on just the timeline on Twitter, I saw how the 10 p.m. curfew had absolutely shagged London. Because everyone left but I thought I'd say it.
No, I was about to
I've heard it. Stop it. Stop it.
So they found that the 10 p.m. curfew stops people being in pubs, but what it means is everyone stays in the pubs till 10, and then everyone leaves at the same time and gets on the tube. So they almost had a bubble of people in pubs, because everyone in London goes to one pub once they get used to it and stays.
Oh, I thought you were just like everyone in London goes to this one pub.
Nah, they'll go to like
Yeah, you've got your local or whatever, like your pub.
So they'll go there, and it's almost like a pub bubble, and then they'll go out. But what they found was that at 10, everyone leaves and gets straight on the tube.
Which is, even in like our town, like you would have people leave at 10, 11, 12, 1, 2.
Not
All
anymore.
different times. We're now checking out time. It's like bloody carnival in the street now.
Everyone leaves at 10.
We're going outside.
Yeah.
We're going outside.
We'll leave at 10 with everyone else.
It's my leave and do tonight, as you found out last episode. So we'll be leaving at 10, and it'll just be manic, because it's a Saturday night.
Also, the thing that is also really annoying is that when usually people leave and they'll go to the kebab shops, but you can't do that now either.
No, because you've got to stand outside or have a mask.
No, because they shut at 10.
Do they?
Yeah, they all shut at 10.
I thought it was
Really?
just pubs.
No, it's all restaurant, everything. They all shut at 10. Last night I came to the town at 10:05 and they were all shut.
Hmm.
There we go. So you can't even.
You can still
find
get
a
food
kebab
like delivery and stuff.
shop.
Delivered.
Maybe so. Yeah, you can't go
still
in
get
there.
stuff delivered.
So like, I can't pine into a
But
kebab shop
again,
and like.
That, when I was doing my research for economics, it works out better if the government would have just give subsidies to hospitality businesses instead of the Eat Out Help Out scheme, because they wasted loads of money on increasing coronavirus cases. They could have just give the hospitality industry money, kept these rules in that they've just applied the whole time, and kept the cases low.
There's I want to get back onto conspiracy theories, but quickly, Captain Hancock, he got all that
He's a
PPE
fucking
in.
snake.
Yeah, he is. He got all that PPE in from somewhere in Eastern Europe.
I thought it was
And
like
he
Turkey.
Turkey, that's it, yeah. And he kept promising that it was going to come, and eventually it came.
It weren't good enough.
It was good enough, so he sent it
What
back.
I understand
And
is
we
what's
went about
wrong
a
with
week-
it?
We went about a week and a half
Oh,
without
it
any.
didn't pass.
Yeah, but
the-
surely,
Yeah, but
I get
what?
that, but like, surely it's got to be better than like.
Better
even
than
if you've got
nothing.
anything over your face, like, unless it was just
Better.
a hole,
Because
like
at this time, no one had anything.
Yeah.
And then,
like, I get you need strict regulations and stuff like that, but like, if you've got literally nothing else, I don't know how it could be that bad. It was like aprons and stuff. Like, if it's something that
exactly.
goes, I don't get what could have been wrong with it.
it had a maid's uniform with boobs on the apron. And then also, if you're not from England, there's a show like Casualty in Holby City and stuff. Like they're like
No one not from England
true.
is watching this.
They're the hospital programs.
No one's
And
watching it.
Did you know about 3 months into COVID, they say as we're not filming, we're going to give you all of our ventilators to do it. I was like, why have you got working ventilators?
Really?
You're a set of a TV show. You could just have a cardboard box. Like, why have you got a working ventilator?
I heard something interesting the other day
What?
from someone that works in a hospital. Apparently, when COVID first happened, we were treating it completely wrong.
Yeah.
We
That's
were
why
just
the deaths were so high.
yeah, because we were just shoving people on ventilators,
And they're not meant
and
to be
apparently
on.
that's like the worst thing you can do. Do you hear this?
I don't know.
For people with coronavirus,
Because you're basically forcing the air in, the lungs don't want to expand.
it doesn't work like that.
Ah.
Yeah.
So
Apparently- yeah.
they found out, a Canadian company found out that coronavirus is actually a blood disease.
Yep.
So it goes through the lungs, which is why they were like, it attacks your respiratory system. But how it actually kills people is it attacks the ventricles and the capillaries around the heart.
That's why people got pneumonia and stuff, wasn't it? Yeah.
So that's why BAME individuals, the elderly and the sick were dying more because black and Asian minorities are more prone to heart disease. The elderly are more prone to heart disease, and so are ill individuals and people with obesity. So what happens is it enters the body through the lungs.
People with what?
And freezes them up.
Right.
But
I
in
got
that
veg.
case, you could use a iron lung, which is where, if you don't know what an iron lung is, it's basically
Surely it's a lung made of iron.
no.
Oh.
You know what? Like they put Deadpool in
Yeah.
before he became Deadpool.
Yeah.
If you don't know what that is, I'll explain further. It's basically this box, bit like a coffin, but you lay in it.
That's
and-
called an iron lung.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it increases and decreases
I
the
was
pressure
wrong.
of the air around you, so that your body is forced to take in air. But what they were finding is that people were still dying when being put in an iron lung, which didn't make any sense. So what they found was that the heart was giving up because all the ventricles and the blood getting to it was just failing.
Do you know Derek Draper?
I've heard of the
Derek
name.
Draper is Kate Garraway's husband, who's obviously like she's an ITV presenter in the morning. Her husband's been on
That's it.
in a coma for like I think it's like it's about 20 weeks now.
Something, yeah.
And he woke up from his coma, but then he keeps just going back in and out of it. But he's getting better. But they said that that it will be years and years and years and years before he get back.
Because what probably happened is he's got weak capillaries around his brain. So where it's attacking all of the blood vessels, he's just.
But no, I heard that as well.
Yeah.
From a doctor, I heard that.
All of the blood vessels in his brain are just kind of blitzing in and out, and as they recover, he wakes up, and then all of a sudden it'll hit again, and they'll go back in.
I heard we were treating it wrong, which is crazy.
But that's why, even now, like yesterday, we had 6,800 cases.
Yeah.
But we only had something like 37 deaths.
Because we actually know what we're doing.
Because we actually know what we're doing now.
Yeah, exactly.
We've only got 200 odd people in beds.
That's crazy.
In ventilator beds.
It's mad that there's all the cases going up, but the deaths are. But that means that is good though, that we are doing we're making it.
Why?
But I will not
ever
say that the government is helping that. It's the hospital staff.
Oh yeah, of course.
That deserve all of that recognition.
Us here at
and
Guzzler
scientists and
give
stuff.
a massive round of applause to the NHS every single day.
As people that don't vote Conservative.
Beep. Beep.
One serious question.
Don't
It's been
bleep
quite a
that out.
serious conversation.
Yeah, I've got some funny ones coming up.
I'll go serious and then you
Alright.
can. Is the Queen a lizard?
I thought
so serious.
I thought you just said, "Is the Queen Elizabeth?"
I thought I had that as well.
Is the Queen Elizabeth?
No.
Is the Queen a lizard?
But I do think there
No.
are answers.
Oh. Yeah.
All?
Ain't you heard that one?
No, but I have. But not all nonsense. All.
Nah, Harry and Will I agree with, but the rest are a bit.
You think like Charles and like I don't know. It might be because I'm really royalist and
Are you?
I love the royal family very much.
I just like the Queen.
Can we leave?
I just like the Queen.
Do you really?
Yeah, I don't like the rest of them.
I really like the royal
I don't
family.
really like the Queen. I just like old people.
I really like the royal
Yeah,
family.
I think
I really like the royal family.
I don't like.
I don't know how you can like the royal family anymore though.
Oh, in the
With
current.
like
The fact
Andrew
that
and
she's
stuff, like,
the fact that she's paid £82 million a year,
and they're not doing anything about him, are they?
No,
They're
not
not,
like, when I say
shunning him, which
No.
is
he
should
needs
be.
to have his cock cut off.
I mean, it's a bit much, but I know what you
He's a
mean.
paedophile.
I know what you mean, though.
No,
Yeah, I understand
I
that.
agree,
but
I
also
agree,
don't
I
think we should
100%
cut
agree.
paedophiles.
Okay,
Okay,
not
so what
for-
I'm conspiracy theories? You believe that Jeffrey Epstein was killed?
Yeah.
Good.
I think so.
Yeah.
No, there is no conceivable way on this earth. that he
His
can
plane
do-
is called Lolita, yeah? Lolita,
right.
right?
Do you know what the leader is?
No.
Lolita's a book
Yeah.
about, like,
A man who fancies like a 13-year-old.
yeah.
Oh really?
But this is the thing, right? People said they didn't know about Epstein or whatever. If you Google Lolita, it comes up saying on Google, like, what you're about to see is like sensitive material to do with
Really?
like paedophilia and stuff. That's just the name of his plane. I Googled it. I felt like I was a paedophile. All I Googled was the name of someone's plane.
This is a big conspiracy theory as well, because it's when Anonymous released his black book on Twitter. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And it had some incredible names.
Yep.
Like Donald Trump was in there, which you already know he's a
Yeah.
nonce.
There's
But it had like
Hillary
Chris
Clinton.
Tucker from Rush Hour in,
Will Smith.
Naomi
Naomi
Campbell,
Naomi Campbell's in it.
Will Smith, some massive names.
Yep.
And like you think how Aston Kutcher has been talking about child sex trafficking after being in Hollywood for 20 years, it makes you think, doesn't it?
There was
that
someone who
there
said
are some
it.
massive names who are just kiddie
I
fiddlers.
think
Someone
100%.
called. This
100%.
might. Yeah, because they're powerful and they can't.
You're powerful and you've
yeah.
got money and stuff. What are people going to do
This
about
might
it?
be slightly wrong. If you Google it, you find something along these lines. Someone who was in, he was even in Marvel films or series or something like that. He was a low actor. He wasn't like a big actor. But he had tweeted that Tom Hanks was a paedophile. And then Tom Hanks said that there was a crash on Route 66, and everyone was like, "What? That's weird." And then 6 hours later, the man who said that he was a paedophile was found dead on the Route 66.
Really?
Yeah. And people were then like,
Oh,
weird.
thanks.
I really like Tom Hanks.
It's
Because like, you never know though, do you? Never know.
No.
It's with many people. Like obviously, even Jimmy Savile, people absolutely loved him. My mum even wrote Jimmy
You used to
Savile.
love,
He was an absolute
You
hero.
still love, what's his name?
Kevin Spacey.
That's it.
Because I firmly don't believe Kevin Spacey was. I think he was very strange, very weird.
Yeah,
So
but
it
he
might not
was.
be. There was no proof, was it? He was let off in court and everything. He was let
Have
off
you
in
seen that
court.
video where he's like in character?
Yeah, as
That's
the bloke
so
from. It's weird.
crazy.
he's
As
a very
the
good
bloke
actor.
from.
Weird.
However,
That-
he's an odd duck.
He's a
isn't
good actor.
Yeah, he's
I agree
very
with
odd
that,
duck.
but he's not alright.
Literally every one of my favourite films he's in.
Yeah,
That
which is fair
video.
enough. You can't.
But-
Come on,
No.
you can't say.
But that
he's
video,
not right.
have you seen this video?
What?
So it's a
It's
video where he
so
does 3 parts in
weird.
one video, and one of the bits he's on about the
might
fact
have.
that he's talking about the fact that he is going, might go to prison because he's as a paedophile, right? So he's talking like that. Then he, without even saying anything, he crosses into a conversation about the fact that, why are you all saying this to me? I can't possibly be a paedophile. I'm going to win this. And then the next bit goes into the fact, and he's playing the bloke from House of Cards. But he's doing this while being at a New Year's party.
Oh, really?
And he's like pouring drinks, and he's like doing stuff in his kitchen.
So
and he's all through those characters. But there's no like distinguish. It's just a talk. And he's like, I'm going to come back. You wait. At the end. And it's like, and that video, that video is so, because he put it on his own YouTube channel.
So strange.
And at the end of that video, it's sort of like, it makes you think he's that powerful that he's untouchable.
I must. He's a great actor, but he's a bit of an odd duck.
Yeah.
And this is what I was going to lead on to before Aliens. I want to finish with Aliens. Not yet though. But I was talking to someone recently who endorsed some of the actions of Donald Trump. Right? The way he's brought jobs to America, and it's called I can't remember the name for it. But it's basically where you shun everywhere else. And if you look at the World Trade Organization, where the World Trade Centers were started, it's called the WTO in economics. And people like the WTO, the International Monetary Fund, these people control and govern trade unions between countries. Right now, there is a massive trade war going on between America and China. If you didn't know that was going on, basically America keeps putting tariffs, which are taxations, on Chinese goods, and China keeps putting taxations and tariffs on American goods right now. Right, this is a massive, massive argument in economics, and that's having massive systemic problems within America. Trump keeps saying, Trump has now offered any company who takes products or services from China back to the US, so like Apple, who have products built in China, he said that if you get them built back in the US, we will subsidise whatever money is left in your manufacturing process, so that you can make it as cheap as you would in China, but give US people jobs. We will give you that difference. That is a brilliant thing for American people, right? And he was saying all this and stuff like that. Obviously, he didn't know the economics, so I've just added that bit in there. But I responded it to Hitler, right? Because politically, Hitler was one of the greatest politicians and economic leaders in human history.
I did my level on Hitler, and
he took Germany from bankruptcy to one of, if not the strongest nation or developing nation on the planet,
and as a
in
leader,
the space of 8 years or something like that.
He was, and as a leader before he became like president, prime minister, dictator, whatever, he was incredible.
And if you hear reports from Germans at the time, so someone in my uni lectures, their like grandparents or great grandparents are German, and they were living in that time, found that, and they talked to them about it, said that this was a massive time of great prosperity in Germany, and it wasn't that people knew that Hitler was doing anything bad, it was that so much good was going on in terms of economy and jobs and everything like that. They ignored everything else.
There's a lot of interesting things about the comparison between Churchill's rise to victory and
what he did to the
Hitler's
Indians.
rise almost to fail. But like his rise was incredible, and Churchill's wasn't. But he got a victory at the end, and
the point that I was going to finish or conclude that with was: can you give someone credit for the good things that they did if they did something so horrifically? Like,
I think we should.
Churchill put India in a famine that killed 6 million people. As many people as Hitler killed the Jews.
Churchill concentration camp in Kenya.
Churchill killed as many, and yet Churchill is celebrated as some war hero in the UK, and yet he was a fucking monster. He was an absolute.
I think that the glorification of Churchill was weird.
And even his.
This is he won the war, and that's why.
Even Churchill's foreign secretary said, when it comes to India, Churchill is as evil as Hitler.
You remember, even the second time Churchill got in in, everyone hated him.
Because
he was just war. He just loved war. He just loved.
And
that was all he
And
wanted.
he's never remembered for anything.
Because he was terrible. No one even. Most people don't even know he was in power again.
Churchill to Boris, because they're both brilliant spokespersons. Like Churchill's speech, we will fight them on the beach.
Is Boris a good
Yeah, we always remember Boris's speeches. Don't go to work. Stay at home. Don't stay at home.
Before
that will always be that.
Boris is known as
just always like this.
Yeah. Boris is known as this quite fluent and
articulate he is, but I don't think he is.
Speeches. I would compare that to Churchill, who's great at speeches, but an incompetent
the thing with
politician.
Trump that you said, I just don't. While it's quite recent, like that's a good thing. He wants to bring Apple and stuff like that over, but his motivations aren't right. I don't think.
No, they're not.
Nothing. That's a good economic decision. It's good to have products made in America. It's good to keep, but like, it's not because he cares about the economy.
No.
And he knows that it's good to bring jobs and stuff like that. He just likes to fight China.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. So his intentions aren't good, though.
No. That's because his political strategy is hate, not adoration.
So, like, in terms of veering plaudits towards Trump, I don't think you can, because his motivations still aren't there. They're still not right.
No, but no one knows his motivations because he hasn't said it.
He
just says, I want to bring jobs to America.
Don't you?
Yeah, but this is what he said, because in terms of even
you sort of look at Twitter for his motivation.
Even Roosevelt said, like, it was Bill Clinton. Clinton versus the other one. When he went to his political... have you seen
Bush,
Definitely Maybe?
I don't know.
Well, basically, they have all these people working in marketing and trying to get the presidents out there. Bill Clinton went, or whoever he was against, went to their party and went, economy. That's the only way you ever win a presidential election, is if you can promise the people that there's going to be more money in the country. And that's all Trump did, compared to Hillary, who said that I'm going to do all this sort of thing and change social policy and everything like that. Trump just went, I'm going to bring more jobs to the country. We're going to be more rich. This is it. And that's how he got in.
Yeah, I want to say a quick thing because I'm very conscious of the time, because this is a long episode. We should talk about aliens next time. We should talk about a few of these other things next time. But
we still need an aliens episode.
Yeah, we should do a part 2 of this.
Talk about aliens at all.
But when you just said about should you celebrate people for the good they've done while they're alive before the bad thing happens? And I think you should. That's controversial, but I still think you should look. This is really controversial. I'm saying this is really controversial. But someone like Jimmy Savile, who raised millions and millions and millions of pounds, you shouldn't go. You shouldn't pretend that never happened. You should still go, we did do that stuff. And like with Kevin Spacey, they took away his Oscars. They didn't give them to anyone else. They took them away. Like, yeah, but he won that because he was good at acting. He should still be able to keep them
that is
because he'd done those. The Jimmy Savile one's a bit, but the point is, fine, he did do horrific things. I'm not saying those things were ever good, but the point is, people do good things. Like Hitler did do good things to get
Germany.
there. It's just, it ended. I'm not even saying bad. Like, he was the worst person ever. But Churchill done absolutely horrific things.
He wasn't the worst person ever. Genghis Khan
no,
killed enough
obviously.
people to cause
Stalin
climate
was
change.
worse.
Yeah. But obviously Churchill done horrific things. He won us the war. And we was like, yeah, thank you so much, Churchill. And everyone would have been like, oh my God, thanks for the war. We won the war, thank God. So you've been like, he won the war.
I think the Kevin Spacey thing's alright because he's still alive. So like take that from him is like an actual action.
I think that
let's ignore the Jimmy Savile thing. So I really wasn't saying that.
I don't think the good things should be ignored. But I don't think they should overshadow the bad.
No, I agree.
No. Oh yeah, when someone goes, Jimmy Savile's a nonce, I'm not going to be like, but he did invite people on TV on a Saturday morning.
Because you're right, he raised millions for charity and he did so much good. But at the same time, he was a horrific, disgusting human being.
Yeah. To clarify, I'm definitely not saying that stuff was like okay.
And if he was alive today, I'd happily see him hang.
He would have killed himself by now, I think, because he wouldn't have been able to take it. Yeah.
And this is it. But I don't want to applaud the good thing he's done because he is such a horrible person, and I think that's what has to come through.
Yeah, I'm not
I can say that he did them good things.
That's why I don't even want to give Churchill that much credit.
Him for. Exactly.
No, that's what I'm saying. We shouldn't ignore those things, and the same way we should ignore that Churchill done those bad things.
When the
Churchill didn't really do that much, though. That's controversial as well. But like, what did he do?
He did nothing politically. He was so incompetent.
He was in lead when we won the war. That's the point.
Yeah, exactly. But like, that's a coincidence more than anything else. All of our soldiers overseas, who gave their life. They deserve credit.
Yeah, exactly,
what did Churchill do? He gave a good speech. Who cares?
This episode, like now, literally Now, I'm going to say though that we should do part 2, and in that part 2, I'm going
We
to
should
talk
do
about
part 2.
the
Very good
Hadron
episode.
Collider being an awakening of Osiris.
Yeah, I like that.
Louis Tomlinson and Harry Styles being in a relationship. The Matrix, President Kennedy, UFOs, Loch Ness Monster,
I've got JFK.
and the Rushmore rooms.
Illuminati.
Do you know the
Jack
Rushmore
Ripper.
rooms? Jack Ripper. Do you know the Rushmore rooms?
No.
Oh, very good. We'll talk about that next
Exciting.
time, though.
Okay.
It'll be in a
maybe,
few weeks though, won't it?
Maybe we should do your next one. Should be the
All right,
podcast
I'm
is.
happy to do that.
Okay, all right.
So it'll be in a few weeks. We'll
Yeah.
record it in a few
Yeah,
weeks.
in like 4
in our
weeks'
next
time,
batch. But yeah, let's see.
What do you think of this?
Yeah, not great.
I thought it was all right.
It was
Yeah,
yeah, it was
yeah,
alright.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong,
but
but
compared to
the one we had
last
last
week's-
time was really.
This one?
That was better than that one.
Yeah, I thought this was nice.
But not as good as last.
No, this is a virtuous aromatic session.
It was okay.
Kirkstall Brewery.
Session IPAs just feel weird to
Built
me.
everywhere. Session IPA.
I know we talk about session IPAs all the time. They don't really
Yeah.
make sense. I
No,
don't get
session
what the point
IPA
is.
is where apparently you can drink quite a few.
It comes from the idea of the sesh, but
Yeah.
like I don't really get it.
Declan, did you do it?
This one's
Almost.
got a long description. Hang on. Produces and grapes from some of the finest vineyards in the Casablanca Valley. This well-balanced, elegant wine is alluring shade of violet and exhibits delicious flavours of mocha and blackberries, accompanied by delicate spice and subtle oak. Medium-bodied and velvet smooth, this Pinot Noir is ideal to drink on its own, or is wonderful when partnered with roast pork. Store in a cool, dark place.
Did you like it?
Honestly, it was actually
They've described
pretty
it
good.
well.
Really good
They've
description.
sold it.
It's not as dry
Can I try it?
as a lot of Pinot Noirs,
We've got seconds left, Declan.
and it's not as soft. But it's actually an alright wine. This
That's
gets,
really nice.
This gets a strong recommendation by me. It's the 30 degrees Carl Pone brand.
That's nice.
Go and have it. It's not a
Oak.
Mocha. It doesn't taste like a normal Pinot, but it's very, very nice.
Excellent.
Yeah, not. It's nice. It's nice. Growing up. Next
Growing up
week.
is next week.
Next week we grow up.
But next week, grow up. That's led by me.
Thank you for listening, guys. Any suggestions, please let us know.
You
Share
won't,
us
but
as much as you can, please. We
Please.
beg. Because we're poor and we want to make money.
and we're sluts.
Thank you very much.
I hope you enjoyed. See you next week. Lots of love.
Thank you for watching this Guzzler video.